So Alan Moore is making some news, and you may not know, Alan Moore is the man who wrote Watchmen, V for Vendetta, Batman, Killing Joke. He's done such work like that. Although nowadays he doesn't want to be known for those comics and things that he wrote, he wants to be known as some great author. But sadly, he's kind of always going to be known for doing those sorts of work. And, it's kind of a staple. But I mean, it shouldn't necessarily be a bad thing because those are some really amazing literary works that he's done. But again, he doesn't want to be known for it, but that's kind of the staple that he has to live with. So he recently had an interview and he's come out making some rather interesting remarks in regards to certain things. Get into this article here from Variety that breaks down a few things of what he said. Watchmen creator Alan Moore asked DC to send his film and TV royalties to Black Lives Matter. Recent movies don't stand by the original principles. Okay. Now, how it works is that Alan Moore is still getting royalty checks for everything that he has ever done. Like I said, he's written Watchmen, V for Vendetta, Batman, Killing Joke, all these other different things he's done. And every time that a Watchmen comic is printed, every time that they do something with it or anything like that, the movie that the Watchmen movie that they did. Now, regardless of whether you say you may not like it one than the other, that movie was probably the best interpretation ever of the Watchmen that could have been done for the big screen. Yes, they changed the ending with the giant squid, but that was never really going to work for a movie. I mean, it might have had it been done at the moment, but it just didn't seem to work for me. I find the way that everything was okay. It's a really good movie. Okay, so he got money for that, royalty check for that. Then they had that god-awful Watchmen thing that they did for HBO, which wasn't Watchmen at all. I don't even know what in God's name that was, but he still got money for that. So Alan Moore is not really hard up for money. He's getting his royalty checks, but no, he wants it all to be sent to Black Lives Matter. I'll get into that in a moment. Let's read a bit of what he has there. Alan Moore, the comic book visionary best known for writing such revered works as Watchmen, V for Vendetta, and Batman the Killing Joke, revealed to the Telegraph that he is no longer accepting royalty checks from DC Comics for films and television series based on his works. He's asked the company to instead reroute these checks to Black Lives Matter. Okay, let me just say this before I go any further. It's Alan Moore's money. He could do whatever the hell he wants with it. Right? It's his money. He can do whatever in God's name he wants to do with his money. That's his money. He earned it. He's getting it. That's his money. Understand me? He could do whatever the hell he wants with it. Nobody can come out and tell him, well, A, B, C, or other. No, it's his money. He could do whatever in God's name he wants with it. All I'm just saying is, he could have probably put that money someplace better than Black Lives Matter. And before anybody decides to come and jump on the bandwagon and tell me, oh, Black Lives Matter, the other thing, many people are now claiming that Black Lives Matter, the movement, is a criminal organization. And this is not just made up stuff. The people who were running this Black Lives Matter movement used the money that they collected to buy mansions and cars and embezzle money and all kind of drama. This whole Black Lives Matter thing came out of the whole George Floyd incident, and it became a literal global movement. And the people who were supposedly running it were taking money in and, getting rich off of it. I was never one to support it because, yes, all lives matter to me and all kind of stuff, but I can usually see some crap coming a mile away, so I tend not to talk about it. And there were other YouTubers and other people who were saying from the early on that this entire organization was crooked as hell and nobody wanted to listen to them. No evidence is out there of what has been done, what the people who ran this organization, or should I say are running this organization, are doing. And again, as I say, it's Alan Moore's money. He could do whatever in God's name he wants with it. But he could have given that money to maybe St. Jude's Children Hospital or something, or have like some homeless families and things, give them houses, things like that. He could have done, and that would have been much more thing. But instead, he is pretty much basically giving the money to what many consider to be a criminal organization. I'm not going to get into any debate over Black Lives Matter, yes or no, that I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you what are the facts that are out there in regards to Black Lives Matter. But that's that. It continues on. The Telegraph asks more if reports were true about him taking all of the money he makes from film and TV series and dividing it among the writers and other creatives. To which the writer answered, I no longer wish it to even be shared with them. Okay, Alan Moore's a little salty, it appears. I don't really feel with the recent films that they have stood by what I assumed were the original principles. I'll agree with that point here. So I asked for DC Comics to send all of the money from any future TV series or films to Black Lives Matter. I could have sent it to someplace else, but again, like I say, it's his money. I get to him about what to do with his money. Moore added that he is not interested in money and lives a quiet life in Northampton, England. Okay. He has been vocal in the past about not agreeing with adaptations of his work, and he's highly critical of contemporary superhero movies, which he once called a blight to cinema and also to culture to a degree. Oh, damn. He said in an October 2022 interview in The Guardian that adults' continued love of superhero movies is an infantilization that can act as a precursor to fascism. Jesus Christ. Why do all these people kind of so nuts as they seem to live these quiet lives like hermits out anyway? Why not? Moore expressed worry at the time over hundreds of thousands of adults lining up to see characters and situations that had been created to entertain the 12-year-old boys. And it was always boys of 50 years ago. I think Alan Moore has some issues he may need to work through it. I think so. I don't really think that superheroes were adult fare. I think that this was a misunderstanding born of what happened in the 1980s, to which I must put my hand up to a considerable share of the blame, though it was not intentional. When things like Watchmen were first appearing, there were an awful lot of headlines saying comics have grown up. I tend to think that no, comics hadn't grown up. There were a few titles that were more adult than people were used to. I always love and adore the comics medium, but the comics industry and all of the stuff attached to it just became unbearable. Oh, okay. Comics have all been essentially made for, that's what I put it, is like young boys between the ages of, let's say, probably like about 7 to maybe 15, that age group and stuff. But I always think that comic books have always been transcendent of time. I mean, I'm not saying that, comics have to be all adult and look at the kind of crap that they're trying to make nowadays. They're making books for the less than 1%. No. Comics are supposed to be interesting, but I don't think there really should be any kind of age limit to it. I mean, there are people who live, who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that still love comics. That read comics years ago and they still love comics, they still love the superheroes, everything like that. I think it's what these heroes are supposed to stand for and how amazing these stories are that continue to keep fans around no matter how many years pass. So I will disagree with Alan Moore on that also. Okay, continue on. In his new interview with The Telegraph, Moore said that what appealed to him most about comics in the past is no more. Now they're called graphic novels, which sound sophisticated and you can charge a lot more for them. These innocent and inventive and imaginative superhero characters from the 40s, 50s, and 60s are being recycled to a modern audience as if they were adult fare. I will agree with that part there, you know. I will say with the modern audience, how they're trying to recycle these superheroes to fit some kind of nuts that isn't working. Yeah, comics are what they've always been, and I think they have great stories, great characters written. Okay, if you want to write something else, write something else. Don't change things to fit some woke god or full narrative. Yeah, so I mean, okay, the bottom line of it is if Alan Moore wants to give his money to Black Lives Matter, that's his business. It's his money. He could do whatever the hell he wants with it. Again, I'm just saying Black Lives Matter, the people who run it, took money, bought mansions, cars, and embezzled the crap out of everything, and they're still happy and swimming along as can be. It's clear Alan Moore has some serious problems with certain things, and some of the stuff he said there, I strongly disagree with. You know, he sounds very, very salty, but again, some things I said, again, made some sense, but others not so much. But, you know, it's Alan Moore's money. He wants to give it to Black Lives Matter. Good for him. Let's just hope that he could be perfectly happy with himself when they buy another mansion. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, try to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell if I ever put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.